say to you that it is because of your efforts, it is because of your vision, it is because of your energy that this nation will change. There will be those of us who will join you there, but it is as clear as anything to me. The heartbeat of the movement is here in this room. And I want to say, we in this room are driving a justice wedge deep into the center of American society. We are cracking open that old America, the mythological, democratic, free enterprise, melting pot, just and good, white and privileged dominated America. We are cracking that open, and once in motion, truth and justice cannot be turned back. It won't be turned back by President Bush's 1,000 points of light. It won't be turned back by the Supreme Court's policies, by the Ku Klux Klan, by the silent majority, by those who haven't understood what they must be about. It will be turned around by our willingness to put our bodies on the line for what we believe in. The moment is now. The goal is clear. Up and out of poverty now.
Know that today in the richest country in the world, we have no business sleeping in doorways and bus stations. We have no business sleeping in boxes. We have no business standing in a soup line begging for a piece of bread. We have no business waiting for somebody to give us some clothes to put on our back. We have no business taking our small babies and sitting in Burger Kings like I had to do and breastfeed my baby with the quote-unquote bag lady to give me $1 to buy coffee. We don't have to do that today. So what we did was we organized to fight back and to take back what's ours. Because we are the sons and the brothers and the sisters and the aunts and uncles and grandchildren of the people that built this country, and this is ours. And we're here to fight. And we're here to say today that we demand and we challenge you, America, to take back and distribute the wealth among the people. We're talking about the welfare movement. We're talking about the mothers and the babies that need daycare. We're talking about education. We're talking about organizing among the clergy, among education, to send our kids to the proper schools and give them the proper education and not brainwash them through TV, radios, newspapers, and the things that keep us oppressed and down. We're talking about the truth. We're talking about spreading the word about the truth. And that's why I'm here, and I'm pretty sure that's why everybody else is here, because we're tired, but we're not that tired. We're going to keep on struggling, and the fight has just begun.
We have gathered from all walks of life, all issues, all grassroots organizations, to concretize our forces as we move into the last decade of this century. Our task is to decide on a unified path the destiny of our movement as we move towards the year 2000. When the Pentagon misuses and abuses billions of dollars to greedy military contractors, builds a submarine that costs $2 billion, and a plane that costs over $500 million that we don't even know can fly. We suspect something is wrong in this country. While emergency food providers are harassed for not being able to account for $10, and the amount of money allocated to them through the FEMA program is less than 3% of the monies that the Pentagon wasted last year, while millions of Americans go hungry, we know something is wrong.
Let's talk about hood.
While the Reagan administration in the past 8 years has cut federal low-income housing programs from $25 billion down to $7.5 billion, and we see that over half of that ends up in the hands of greedy Republican consultants, while millions of Americans do not have a roof over their heads at night, we know something is terribly wrong in this nation. This weekend, pure and simply, is about righting those wrongs. This weekend is about putting the heat back in the streets. This weekend is about turning the White House into the hot house. This weekend is about turning our state houses into outhouses and letting our elected officials know, local, state, and federal, that it is now time to shit or get off the pot.
So we have to support what is happening to people. I have $10 and I want you to give whatever you can.
We would like to present to you on the behalf of the first National Survivor Summit Up and Out of Poverty Now, which you are part of, $417 from the brothers and sisters within the Survivor Summit.
Appreciate that. I want to thank you folks for the assistance you put on this table right here. But that's just part of it.
That's right, yeah.
You're what counts. Support from you people is the reason why we will win. We appreciate it.
The reason that we are high and dry is because Mr. Reagan and Mr. Bush think that they can out-organize us. And we've set up ourselves to be the organizers of organizers. We've dared Mr. Bush to come into the black belt, and that black that he has come. We dared Reagan to come and give him the whipping that he needed. And we're going to whip Mr. Bush too in the Alabama black belt with your help. But we want to whoop these jokers all over this country, not only in North America, but South America, and Central America, South Africa, every place in the world where they keep us whipping. We need to be prepared to give these folks this whipping. And how do we start and where do we start? Right here. The nucleus of this movement that we have to rekindle starts with us right here. It starts with us right here. And there's nothing out here that we can't accomplish when we set our minds to it. Someone said it couldn't be done. He with a chuckle replied, maybe it couldn't. But I'm one who wouldn't say so until I tried. I just buckle right in with a bit of a grin. Take off my coat and go to it. And start to sing as you tackle the thing that couldn't be done, and you can do it. There are thousands to tell you what can't be done. Thousands will prophesy failure. Thousands will point out to you one by one the dangers that the way to sailing you. But you just buckle right in with a bit of a grin. Roll up your sleeves and go to it, and start to sing as you tackle the thing that couldn't be done. And you'll do it. Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here. We're happy to be here. It took us a long time to get here, but we're here.
All right.
I'm gonna cut it short because I know we ain't got the time, but I'll give you a little history on Thompson Square Park. It started maybe about a year or so ago. Where people got bloodied up. They got beat up by the cops and everything because they had no place to go. I got lucky. I got a place to stay after that, but I couldn't stay there any longer because my people were still in the streets. So we're back in Thompson Square Park. We're building tents. We're defying the police. We're defying their new law about the parks that we can't be there. We can't build shelters and whatnot. In fact, tomorrow, oh, that's right. We are today. Today we're building tents out of the United States flag.
All right.
don't know if any of you can come down to New York today, but hopefully in the future you can.
All right.
I know we're in your hearts.
All right.
I know we're in your prayers.
All right.
And all of you are in our prayers. I know
All
that.
right.
You know, we're united. I see more today and yesterday than I've seen all my life. I've never seen this much unity.
All
You know?
right.
I never seen this much. I mean, we don't all agree on everything that's being said, but the fact that we got the opportunity to say it tells us a lot.
All right.
There are happy times and there are sad times. Those young men remind me of my own son.
All right. Mine too, baby. Mine too. All right now. All right. Yeah.
I'm telling you that things are not well.
All right.
And when you see young men take that type of step, it really disturbs me, and then it makes me happy too, because there's something has to be done.
All right. Come on.
Challenge the summit. Verle Summit. I will reach a mountaintop in my life. I shall challenge the summit. I have chosen to live a life that will aid in the progression of people. And the only way that I can accomplish my goal is through helping others. Helping to produce a society where everyone is free to prosper and grow is my ultimate goal. I will always be true to my ideals and aspirations. I'll remember what I went through to get there in order to keep my mind focused on where I'm going. Throughout my life, I will try to live in such a way as to be a mentor for the youth. I'll take my responsibility of leaving a legacy that the youth will be proud to continue seriously. But now allow me to speak for a moment about legacies that have been left for us, where people challenged the summit and won. Women, they now have the right to vote because our foremothers refused to accept second-class citizenship.
Yes.
Through organized resistance, workers fought for and won the 8-hour workday and the right to unionize. Slavery was abolished in the United States of America because there were people, black and white, who refused to tolerate and condone the oppression by one people over another. And last but not least, segregationist laws and practices in this country were only defeated through organized struggle. The people who sit and constantly ridicule society without putting an extra effort forward to change it are just as wrong as the injustices they criticize. Time for complacency has passed. It is no longer enough for us to be satisfied with individual comforts and accomplishments. Our country and the world are challenging us to right injustices, to shelter the homeless, to feed the hungry, to heal the sick. In the words of one of the greatest challenge seekers of our time, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in moments of challenge and controversy. We owe it to ourselves and to posterity. So let us rise to the occasion. Let us challenge the summit. Verle Summit. Thank you.
Don't believe in voodoo now. Get it straight. I did not say that I was a voodoo man. I told you I was a root doctor. Ronald Reagan is the voodoo man, and I'm a root doctor. So there's a big difference between voodoo and being a root doctor. If I had a few minutes today, I would talk to you about a tree. If I just had a few minutes, I would discuss how a tree exists. And you'd finally understand why I deal with roots. There's a reason for all of us being here today. There's a reason for all of us having the problems we got, even though they are individual problems, but there's a reason. And the reason is the root. What caused all of these problems to exist? How do they continue to exist? If I had my chance today, I would go check on the homeless, the houseless today, the people in the streets, and I would simply ask them the question, why are you in the streets? What put you out here? It's a reason. And it wasn't all because of dope neither. It all wasn't because people were lazy either. There's a lot of reasons why people on the street. As long as we let this system, and I don't know what you call a system, and I don't have time to tell you what I call it, but I think you got enough sense to understand something. As long as you let this system operate like it operates, we always will have problems. We got to go to the root. As long as the mind workers think that their problem is the only problem in the world, we got a problem. As long as the Indians think that their problem is the only problem in the world, we got a problem. As long as black people think that they got the only problem in the world, we got a problem. Yeah. We got to stop thinking about our older stuff and do like a root doctor would do. Go down, get the tree by the root. Don't play with no leaves and no limbs. Turn it over.
Somebody else is going, when we look back on this thing in a few years, I think the roots of where it all began is going to be right here at this summit. And I'm very proud to be able to say that I was here to participate.
Nature's calling for a change.
Yeah.
The world wants a change.
That's
you
right.
just can't keep whipping somebody, whipping them, and whipping them. Keep whipping a dog, he'll turn you. And a bite you, fight you. So you just can't.
So like I said, we're here to learn, but we also got some experiences that we think we can bring into this grouping of people that they can find. There's a lot of encouragement to go back out there and do their job too. But I know I feel really energized, and I hope that before this conference is over that we can communicate some of the things and experiences that we've had and show people that labor, organized labor, we're ready to assist and learn along with them to get this whole thing turned around. But this is our country, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna let somebody push me out because I won't go along with the program.
That's right. We need to, somehow to get this. I mean, I wish we could just take a videotape of all these and show it at every movies around the country. This here was great, and I'm telling you, this with all the conventions that we've been through to the district convention.
No.
Doesn't even compare.
Well, you always have one or two good speakers in every convention. But when you have everybody, bring tears in your eyes, man. That's, yeah.
You can feel the emotion.
Yeah.
Most really.
That's right.
The amounts of money that we were getting to support our families were actually 40% below the federal established poverty level. And when we thought about that, we thought that there must be something illegal about that. So we took them to court and we sued them. In 1986, a Judge Grabeau found in favor of the welfare recipients in that they identified there was this poverty gap. The state appealed the case and took us back to the Supreme Judicial Court, where, again, the Supreme Court found an order for the welfare recipients, but didn't have the power to order the legislature to appropriate the money. But what they did manage to do was identify that there was this poverty gap and that we needed this money and that the legislature had the resources and should obey the spirit of the law. In an attempt to obey this spirit of the law, the Human Services Committee proposed a 3-year phase-in proposal that would give us 9% a year increases. And we knew that this wasn't going to do any good because that's actually a decrease. A family in Massachusetts receives $539 a month in a grant, and the average rent in Boston is over $800 a month. So we can't even pay our rent when we do that. So that proposal was voted down anyway. They wouldn't even consider a 9% increase. So 20 welfare recipients and their supporters went to the governor's office in an attempt to do a citizen's arrest on Governor Dukakis for failure to comply with the court order to bring us up to that $11,700. We also had a 51A form for the abuse of our children on the program and a restraining order for the bureaucratic battering of welfare mothers. Well, the governor wasn't in, so we decided to sit there and wait. We waited for 7.5 hours. He was coming in. They told us we had to get out of there or we'd be arrested. We wouldn't get out, so we got arrested. We went to court, and we pled not guilty by reason of necessity. And we pushed for a trial by jury. We got a trial by jury, and we were on trial for 4 days. At the end of the 4 days, we were all found not guilty.
We went into the courtroom all wearing black to symbolize the infant mortality rate, and after the second day, some of the jurors came in all dressed in black.
By the fourth day, every member of the jury, every single member of the jury was dressed in black in solidarity with those of us who were on trial.
And the Capitol Police had done a videotape of us, and they were going to use it as a training tape to show what to do with civil disobedience, and they introduced it as evidence against us in court, and it actually had the opposite effect. It was a 35, 45-minute tape, and at the end of it, they looked at us and
everything that we tried to introduce as part of the necessity defense for why we sat down and got arrested, the judge absolutely would not allow this to be heard. But when they saw this 30-minute tape that the Capitol Police had taken, they saw us holding up the signs, you know, for the 51A, the cruel and abusive treatment of children, the citizen's arrest, we held up something else. So everything that we tried to introduce as fact and evidence for our necessity defense was allowed in only through the tape that the judge allowed to be shown.
They were going to use against us. Yeah, it was good. It was very good. I know when we all stood up and the forelady read off not guilty one by one, I felt cleansed of any sin I had ever committed in my entire life for some reason or another.
It wasn't that we were, it wasn't that we were just not guilty of trespassing in the State House. It was a complete and total cleansing. To have gone through the system the way we did, we were literally battered by the judge that we had. And to hear, you know, each one of us one by one being told that we were not guilty, we were all clean.
And although we didn't get any more money, we felt we really had a victory because the court case for the homeless lawsuit established the fact that we have a right to demand adequate welfare benefits. Where people had been fooled, you don't have a right, it's an entitlement kind of thing. Well, that really established that we don't have a right to just get it, but we do have a right to go demand it. So this is our right. This is America. We can do this. This is a form of protest, and that's as American as apple pie and motherhood.
We are very happy to bring you some of the highlights from the Survival Summit. As you all know, what happened there was of historic significance. The leaders of the 60 million Americans who face poverty and destitution came together to plan out what needs to be done, what action to take. It is within this context that I would like to talk about what the People's Tribune stands for. The People's Tribune is a newspaper that aims to be the voice of the 60 million Americans who are struggling to get the basic necessities of life, food, housing, and clothing. We aim to be the voice of the 6 million homeless Americans and the 14 million families who are only one paycheck away from homelessness. We aim to be the voice of the parents and the youth who face a life and death struggle in their drug-infested neighborhoods. We aim to be the voice of the welfare mother in her fight for a decent life for her children. And in this way, help in the formation of a movement of the 60 million Americans who face destitution and poverty inflicted by a capitalist system where profit is more important than human life. We aim to make this movement conscious of itself. We aim to make this movement conscious of who the real enemy is, the capitalist class. The People's Tribune will help spread the word about the truth. It is not us who have failed, it is them, the capitalists. Presently, we are going to dedicate all our efforts to spread the truth about Jonell Warren. Jonell Warren is a 37-year-old man who took 5 steaks to feed his nieces and today is serving a 20-year sentence. It is not he who is the criminal, but the ruling class and its representatives. We are going to crusade for Warren's freedom. We are going to crusade for every worker who has been criminalized by this ruling class. But to do this, we need your financial support. Just like you at the summit were a line of credit for the Pittston striking miners, so is our line of credit, every one of you. To continue crusading for those who the capitalist system daily attacks in their search for profits, we need your financial support. Every dollar counts. Ask your organization to order a bundle of People's Tribunes. Subscribe to the People's Tribune. It is your paper. Thank you.